This video is a introduction to how our Linux course is going to work. I'm going to go through some of the high points to hopefully ease you into how we'll do things this semester. I don't really think there's anything in here that's not covered in the words in Module 0. So watch this video, read those words, and you should be good to go. So first off, we'll talk about how the class is scheduled. I divided it roughly into 4 phases. The first phase is to turn you into a competent command line user. We will not be using a graphical interface for much of anything this semester. We will administer our Linux servers using the command line because that is how Linux servers are administered in the real world. Nobody uses GUIs on Linux servers. So we'll be using the command line. In the first several modules, work on getting us competent at doing that. The second group of modules, we do some scripting. Some of it's easy, some of it's a little more difficult, but everybody can get it done if you just persevere and work through your issues. I guarantee if you ask for help and give yourself the appropriate amount of time, you will get your scripts to work. The third part of the class is where we start doing the actual administration of our very own Linux server. I have an infrastructure set up where you each get your own virtual machine that you can connect to over a VPN I have and administer your server through there. That part of the course, there are podcasts that go over exactly what you need to do. So all you have to do is basically be able to watch a video and type what I'm typing for the most part to make your things work. However, I strongly recommend that you don't just watch the video and type what I'm typing during that portion of the course. It is very important that you actually understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, because the last part of the class, where here it says 4, administer giving general guidelines, we have a final project where I have you install some additional services onto your server, and there are no podcasts that go step by step through that portion. So I will tell you what to do, but not necessarily how to do it. Or in some cases, I'll tell you what to do and tell you how to do it. I do give you some of the commands for some of the things, but there's a bit of having to figure things out for yourself in that part of the class. So that's the four parts of the class, the way we have it divided out. We have 2 online resources we'll be using extensively in the course. First, we'll be using Desire to Learn, which you should be familiar with, hopefully from other classes. Basically, within Desire to Learn, the most important things you should do is you should read the news postings whenever you log in, because I put important things in the news postings. Under content, there's modules that divide the work out into different areas. This is the module 0 content. If you look, it has some words. I tell you what we have to do for each module. Each module has some learning content. Each module has a quiz. Each module has some exercises we must do, and we make discussion board postings every module. So that's pretty much the format of how we work. Here's the content for this module. Module 0 is basically pretty simple. We get introduced to how things are going to work and make sure we can connect to the remote system, which I'll talk about CNTserv in a minute. And then we change our password. So like I said, each module has a quiz. The quiz consists of some number of questions. I'm not actually going to start the quiz. You get 2 attempts on the quiz. So if you're not happy with your score the first time, you can take it again and improve your score. Your score is the average of the 2 attempts. I strongly recommend you take both attempts. Other than the regular homework quiz, we also have what I call exercises quizzes, and those quizzes usually guide you through some activity you need to complete on CNTserv, and then copy and paste the results from your activities into the answer box. A comment about both quizzes: sometimes, I should say many times, your quiz will not be graded correctly when you submit it. Why is that? That is because there are many different possible correct answers that could be put in there into the answers, because there are a lot of different ways to do things in Linux. So there's a chance that you might do something in a way that I wasn't expecting, and therefore I have to go back and manually correct your score later. So I will correct your scores later, so you do not need to send me emails saying, hey, I got number 3 correct, but it was marked incorrect. Can you fix it? Yes, I will fix it. I will always go fix it. However, if you do take the quiz and you just want me to grade it at the time you take it, or shortly thereafter, so you can know if you should take the second attempt, then you can feel free to send me a message saying, hey, can you grade my attempt so I can know if I need to take the second attempt or not, and I'll be more than happy to do that. if you send it to me in a timely manner. If you send it to me 5 minutes before the due date, then you're not going to get it done probably. Speaking of due dates, everything's due Thursday nights at 10 p.m. for the most part. Why 10 p.m.? Because I like to be available if you need help, and I'm not going to stay up till midnight every Thursday night to wait to see if you need help. So 10 p.m. is the time I chose because I'm usually up until at least 10 p.m. So it's not really that much of a burden to me to stay up until 10 p.m. in case people need help with things. However, I strongly recommend that you get things done sooner rather than later. The people who have the biggest trouble in this class are people that wait until Thursday to work on the assignments. If you look at the syllabus, the way the schedule is broken out is you have 11 days to work on each learning module with a little bit of overlap. What that means is, like, for example, Module 2 will become available on a Monday, and then it will be due the 2 Thursdays after that. But then the next Monday that comes along, Module 3 will be available as an example. So the modules overlap and you have 11 days, so there's plenty of time for you to get the work done, and I strongly recommend you not wait till the last minute. So that's the quizzes and the exercises quizzes, which walk you through some activities. Discussion board postings. I recognize nobody likes discussion board postings. I don't like discussion board postings, but this is a good way for me to keep track of who's with us and who might be lost and who's just kind of disappeared. This is kind of how I gauge attendance and participation in the course. You just have to make a discussion board posting. You do not have to respond to any number of discussion board postings. And usually, if you look in the module, one of the last things it tells you is what I want in the discussion board post. So if you go down here, it says, hey, discussion board posting. I want an introduction including your major, number of credits earned, IT-related work experience, general comments about what you hope to learn in this class, and what method you will use to access the remote system. This learning module will go through the different methods you might choose to use, so make sure you go through that material and take care of that. So that's pretty much it for what we need to look at in D2L. Obviously there's a grades section to look at your grades, but that's really about it. The other thing we wanted to look at was CNTserve. CNTserve is a remote Linux system I maintain, and we're going to be connecting to it to do our classwork. I've already connected to the server, so you don't get to see that in this video. However, there's other videos that show you how to connect. And once you're connected, this is what it looks like. You have the command line environment. You can use ls to look at any files you have, which in your home directory you shouldn't have any files at this point. Most of the things we will be doing for the first part of the class will happen in a directory called home exercises. If you go over there, there are different modules. As you see, there's one that says module 0 exercises password. You'll need that to get into the module 0 exercises. So you can use cat to look at that. So that's the password to the first module exercises, unless I change it at some point. There are directories for the different modules. You know, there's some number of files in here, and the activity will walk you through what you need to do with these files within the system. So this is a system we'll be using to do our work on for the first 6 modules, and later on we get to module 7, we'll talk about how we're going to access our own server. So that's CNTserve. So what if you need help? How's the best way to get help? Well, the best way to get help is to fill out my support ticket. I created a Google form support system, if you will. So if you click on, if I go back to Desire to Learn, if you go down to the bottom of this learning module, it says, so what if you need help? You can submit a support request using this form. If you click on that, that'll bring up the page. After that, every other module, if I go to module 1, right now you have access to module 0 and module 1. If I go to module 1, you'll see that as we move along, the support request is the first thing in the one of the first things. If you need help, submit the support request. So basically, support request is a Google form, ask you for your CNT username. That is the first part of your Hawkmail address. Email address I should respond to. If you want me to use your Hawkmail, put it in here. If you have some other email address you'd rather I respond to, put that in here. Drop down to tell me what you're working on. And then a description box for you to describe your problem. So put any relevant details. If you're getting an actual error message, put the error message. If you're running a command that's failing, put the command you're using and the error message. A perfect example of this, people send me things like this: I can't SCP my file. Fantastic. That's not very helpful. It'd be much more helpful if you said, I can't SCP my file. Here is the command I'm trying in SCP, file to RBE0000 at cntserv.hack.edu. So if you send me that, I would know, oh, hey, you forgot the colon at the end of hack.edu. So I would be able to tell you what your problem is without even looking. And then you put the error message if you got one. So hit submit. What happens here is it gets sent to me, and then I will get it and respond to you. The benefit of using this form over just an email, this gets sent to an email address that I check on my phone, so I will get it in a much more quick time frame most of the time. Also, it writes the support request to a spreadsheet, and I use that spreadsheet to look over at the end of the semester and see how I can improve the materials to eliminate some of the problems we're having. So the two benefits of using this over just sending me an email saying, hey, my thing's not working, is that I track it and I get it sooner. So you should definitely send me a support request if you need assistance. So let's see what else. All right, communication, like I said, if you need help with a course-related thing, send me a support ticket. If you have other things, you can send me an email. You can send to my Hack email if you want. You can also use my Yahoo email. I will get my Yahoo email almost always quicker than I'll get my Hack email. So if it's something that's time sensitive, you can send it to my Yahoo account. You don't need to submit a support ticket and then send me an email saying, hey, I just submitted a support ticket. I will get them at the exact same time because the support tickets go to this Yahoo email address. There's a mail tool in D2L. I don't recommend you use it. I never really get notifications very reliably when I have mail, so email if you need me. You can also post it to the discussion board. There was a general questions discussion board, I think it was called. If you're working on something specific to a learning module, go ahead and make it in the learning module itself discussion. If you have a general question about anything, make it in the general discussion learning module. General discussion board. Yeah, that's it. And what happens if we need to meet in a more face-to-face manner? I use Google Hangouts for that. Google Hangout, we can have a video conference, or you can just do audio if you don't want to do video. And then we can do things like share our screens. So I could share my terminal with you and show you how I do it, or you can share your terminal with me and show me how you do it. That's a way we can meet online. That's usually by appointment. So you'd send me an email saying, hey, can we have a Google Hangout? And I'd say, sure, and we'd arrange a time. I'm also at Midtown campus in Harrisburg pretty much a lot of the day on Wednesday, and I'm there some other times during the week too. So you can come in and talk to me in person if you're really I want to talk to you in person kind of person. So hopefully you watched my other video where I told you how to be successful in my classes, and I'm going to reiterate those things now. Don't wait until the last minute. You want to watch the podcast and take notes, and you want to ask questions. If you need help, ask for help, ask questions, get clarification. You're here to learn, and if you're not getting something, then we need to take care of that. So what should you do now? Well, you should go do the Module 0 quiz. You should do the Module 0 exercises. You should do the Module 0 discussion board posting. And then Module 1 is already open as well. Module 0 is due probably this Thursday evening at 10 p.m. Module 1 is due the next Thursday evening at 10 p.m. Module 0 is fairly trivial, so you should have no issues completing it before it's due. So that's really all I have to say for now. So good luck. I hope you learned stuff, and I hope you have fun.